Welcome to Disenfranchised. What episode is this?
This is episode 8.
Episode 8.
Motherfucker.
We're still around. You know, my nephew told me that if you make it past 10 episodes, you must be a thing, I guess.
We're a thing. Well,
We're a
you
thing.
figured too, we've had more than 10 because we've done the all the 0.5 episodes. So
What
we
is
got
it? 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, all the interviews that we've done. So we're
officially a thing.
Yeah, we're killing it.
Yeah.
But I'm your host, Keith Cunningham. This is your other host,
Travis Lee Gearhart.
and we are
Disenfranchised. That would be.
All right, we're going to kick things off with NFL. Again, we're talking about the Super Bowl.
It is Super Bowl weekend.
Now, this is, we are recording today on Saturday.
It's a little off our usual mark,
Yeah.
but it also works out that this is the first time I've been able to get back into the studio in a long time.
Yeah, it's been
road
I don't
weary.
know. Yeah.
Been a minute. And we got some recording to do tonight. We got some recording to do later on.
Monday, something like that.
Monday night. Well, maybe not Monday night. We got one on Thursday night. We got some good ones. Jesus Christ. Why are people... I'm going to get out of this. Of course, it's going to be... Nobody messages me. We start recording and all of a sudden my Facebook Messenger, people are sending me shit while I'm online.
It's because they just heard that we are a thing. We are
a
the
thing.
I don't even know what you call it anymore. We're going viral. Is that what it is?
Something. We're going viral. Just like but unlike us going viral, unlike Bill Gates, we're not going to ask Epstein for something to put into our old lady's food to fix that problem.
Yeah, there you go. We don't have any strange viruses growing on our lips.
Not that I know of.
Well, the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots are set to battle tomorrow. Right now, the Seattle Seahawks are favored by most sports books for typically around 4.5 points, thanks to their strong defense and consistent offense. It looks like most of your betting websites and all that are choosing the Seahawks to win. So I'm gonna stick with the Patriots.
And I'm going to root for the Seahawks, mostly because I don't want to see the Patriots win another one, but also because, did you see the news recently? So Robert Kraft decided that he pumped a bunch of money into doing this anti-Semitism fucking ad during one of the Super Bowl commercials. So that just makes me so much, which is so ironic, right? So you've got the goddamn owner of the New England Patriots that wants to try to spend his money to tell you, hey, stop being anti-Semitic. Just stop. You shouldn't be doing like that. But he's also the guy that goes and gets a rub and tug. And, it's just the typical kind of, I think he's also mentioned in the Epstein files. He's mentioned in the Epstein files.
Maybe he is a rabbi. Who knows?
Well, if he's a rabbi. See, there's a big difference between being a rabbi and those are two different rub and tugs. One of them happens a little more briskly. No. See what I did there?
Yeah.
So the fucking gross. But yeah, regardless, I'm hoping the Seahawks. If I have to pick one, honestly, I hope a fucking meteor drops right in the middle of San Francisco. Fuck San Francisco also, right? Am I right?
Am I right?
Am I right? Or am I right? But yeah, I hope a meteor just drops and destroys the whole goddamn thing.
Well, let's talk about I don't think this I'm hoping for New England just because they're the underdog. But halftime show. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about these halftime shows. You have three options, and I think only one of them is not controversial. The Puppy Bowl 2026 is the only one that is not controversial.
That's what we're gonna be watching. Preferably, I want to watch the Puppy Bowl. I don't give a fuck about all this other shit. We touched a couple episodes back ago about the Bad Bunny talking about wanting to perform in a dress, and it's like, ugh, why? Why are you doing that? It's just so gratuitous. It's gratuitous. You're just purposely trying to piss people off. It's the shit that I used to do when I was 18, and I would purposely try to piss motherfuckers off.
So you used to wear a dress?
I used to wear fucking women's pants. Yeah, dude. I used to wear like fucking tight ass women's jeans. I was, and like he
was a tucker. He was a tucker.
yeah. That's what everybody
Would you
called me,
like to explain to me
Dick
the
Tucker.
difference of a grower and a shower?
So you got the growers and you got the showers. So you're a little bit more of an evolutionized, person. And this doesn't have to do with anything other than just, yourself being evolutionized, and you can read between whatever lines you want. But there, you can either just hang out there and just be out there, like, get attacked by a lion or some shit, or you can be more evolved, and it pulls itself up inside for like a defensive. It doesn't want anything.
Yeah, he's like a linebacker.
I like to think I'm built more like a fullback, like. But
anyways,
roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah. Travis is coming up with some shirt ideas, and we have one. We're disenfranchised can of baked beans. Roll that beautiful bean footage, and it's
if you know, you know. If you know, you know.
But halftime, you stick to the, what is it? I think it's on NBC. Your regular halftime show is going to be Bad Bunny coming out in a dress and trying to piss half the country off.
Speaking Spanish, saying fuck ice,
Yeah,
all that,
honestly.
not even disagreeing with him on everything. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't need to be during fucking Super Bowl halftime. Like, Jesus Christ. This is supposed to be the time that you sit around with your family and just shut the fuck up.
Or if you're not interested in that, you could, at halftime, you could turn on YouTube or OAN. I don't even remember what the OAN stands for. And you can watch Turning Point USA's halftime show with Kid Rock, Lee Brice, Brantley Gilbert, and Gabby Barrett.
Do you think there's going to be more or less fireworks than Charlie Kirk's funeral? What's the over-under on that?
Caught me off guard. I wouldn't wait for that one. Or if you're not interested
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to have to cut that one. Let's keep going.
Or if you're not interested in that, you could go to and watch the Puppy Bowl on Animal Planet, Discovery, or TBS, or True TV.
That's what I'm there for.
The
Puppy Bowl all the way. Well, so what we were talking a little bit beforehand, and obviously we want to go, so it became a issue this week because you had Kid Rock saying like, oh, well, this is going to be, the MAGA one. We're going to talk about, it's going to be to celebrate, being with your family and Jesus and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not like anti Kid Rock. I like Kid Rock as much as the next guy. I mean, especially when it's 4th of July weekend and I'm smoking funny things and hanging out.
Out of them four, the Kid Rock, Lee Brice, Brantley Gilbert, and Gabby Barrett, I like Brantley, and I actually really like Lee Brice.
I'd say Lee Brice has got some good tunes.
Lee Brice has a lot of good songs. There's a lot of songs written by Lee Brice that are sang by other people.
Yes.
He was a songwriter before he was a performer. But I will probably watch that one for Lee Brice. Kid Rock, I'm kind of like over the Kid Rock shit.
I heard I remember it was either last summer or the summer before, whatever. Kid Rock was on Joe Rogan, and I listened to it just to see, because he was kind of in the news at the time for like shooting up the Bud Light cans with the AR-15. Remember that? Because he was known as like Mr. Bud Light, and Bud Light like basically sucked his dick and was like, please stop, please, we really need you back. And then all of a sudden they pumped a bunch of money into UFC, and you had Dana White and Peyton Manning, and they did. They've done a good job of like turning around and recognizing who your customers are. Right now, with that being said, when the interview was almost unlistenable, it was so unintelligible. Like he's Kid Rock. Like, you get what you get. This is what you're getting. He's not going to tell you, and I can appreciate that.
At the same time, he's Kid Rock, and when he came out, it was, oh, I'm Kid Rock. I'm coming up from nothing.
Yeah, and he did, for the most part.
I don't know about that. Might have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know. Was he? You might know more about this than I did. Like, so it's not that conspiracy. Is there anything? I do remember everyone kind of giving him shit because he like grew up in northern Michigan, or like central Michigan, and he always had a Confederate flag, and people are like, look, we can kind of give you a pass on that if you're from the South and it's a part of your heritage, but like this doesn't even make sense of it.
Yeah. Kid Rock.
But while he's looking that up real quick, one of the things that we also wanted to touch on was, kind of understand a little bit of where so many people look, like most of the people that watch football are older men, white men, black men, Mexican men, doesn't matter. Let's take race out of the equation, right? And so here's the last 8 Super Bowl halftime shows. You got Kendrick Lamar, Usher, Rihanna, the Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, The Weeknd, Shakira and Jennifer Lopez, Maroon 5 with Travis Scott and Big Boy, and Justin Timberlake. So, listen, I remember growing up and seeing fucking ZZ Top,
I think that's what we need to go back to is some of the olden hell, throw Metallica on there.
Well, yeah,
Somebody.
yeah, somebody
Or
like,
if you want to go a little newer, I'd even do like a Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, of course, I think the name of their band, Five Finger Death Punch, is pretty fucking stupid, but the songs are decent. They're not terrible.
well, you've got plenty of options. Like they're just literally leaning into pop and hip hop, and that's okay, I suppose. I guess whatever, but then you can't really piss and moan when somebody says finally, like, hey man, we're done fucking with this. Like we want we want to have music that we actually care for. And so, the whole joke is always after the Super Bowl, you got the of the white boomer dads with their sunglasses on and their hats, that like I'm not going to listen to the Super Bowl halftime. Like that's the joke, right? But then you look at this list and you're like, you can joke around about it all you want, but you kind of got to understand it, right? I mean, going down the list, I don't really remember the Usher one. Do you? The Usher one was so unrememberable that I don't really remember it.
I remember the Shakira.
Well, yeah, Shakira. She's,
And
Shakira.
the Dr. Dre, Snoop
The
Dogg.
Dr. Dre one was awesome.
That
The
one was
Snoop
good.
Dogg one was the Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre.
But then again, I think
even the Kendrick Lamar one wasn't bad.
I
Like
thought,
I was
yeah.
surprised at how
thought
good it
the
was because I
Kendrick
did
Lamar
think
one
it
was
was going to
good.
be shittier.
But I think if you notice, you say Usher, like, but then you say Dr. Dre, and we're like, oh yeah, that was good. I think this is more of an age thing.
A little bit.
We grew up with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and all. They were in our time frame.
I remember even the Maroon 5 one being like memed a bunch because he was up there shirtless and he's done, such a job. I mean, again, I have plenty of tattoos that are kind of shitty, but like remember people being like when the guy that goes and gets the tattoos and it's just different flash art, like every tattoo has like an inch around it.
If you look at the younger kids today getting their tattoos, we're going completely off subject, but these line art tattoos that in 10 years, half the lines are going to be gone.
Yeah.
They're not there. They're not visible. But I don't know when, what we grew up with compared to what it is today. It's changing.
Kids these days,
their
tattoos aren't as good as ours. Their music isn't as good. Why are we watching Metallica at the halftime show? And so I think it's a little bit of this, and I wouldn't read too much into it, but I do think that they need to. Well, who is it that's doing the fucking halftime show? It's Jay-Z, right? And who's the guy that's doing like that's booking the halftime show, that's managing it? Give me half a second.
That I do. Well, while you're talking about that, I'm gonna go back to Kid Rock. Okay, Kid Rock. This is actually pretty good. It's image versus reality. So Kid Rock looks like he is I don't know what you call it, rags to riches, huh? Grew up poor, and now look at him, he's a somebody. But that is not true. It's not true at all. He grew up in Romeo, Michigan, on a large property, a multi-acre estate. His dad owned multiple successful car dealerships, talked about having horses, apple orchards, even a tennis court growing up. He was considered an upper to middle class to wealthy. He was not struggling at all. His rags to riches persona was just a persona to sell CDs. And it worked.
And that's how a lot of these guys.
You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that. I was never a big enough. I think I'd kind of heard that in passing, but I was never a big enough Kid Rock fan to give a shit. I mean, I liked the early like ba with the ba, the bang, the bang. I liked his early shit.
Yeah, but
like
that's the thing though. I liked his early stuff too. And when you listen to the early stuff, you would think, oh, this is kind of like a like an
like a
Eminem type thing.
greasy new metal,
Yeah.
rap metal, kind of Limp Bizkit-esque,
Yeah,
you know?
this is a guy coming out of the trailer park and making something for himself. All right, what were you looking up?
So I am right. Jay-Z is the person that puts these Super Bowl halftime shows together. So it's who puts together the Super Bowl halftime shows now? Since 2019, the NFL has partnered with Rock Nation, and Jay-Z is the key decision maker. So it makes sense why it's all hip hop artists, right? But now the other thing about it is now, is that going to be the thing? Because, Jay-Z was big in the Epstein files about the one report of women waking up and having him and who was the other rap artist that was in that? No, just say it out loud. Aaron's in the other side of the room. Diddy wasn't the other guy. No, there was some other rap artist like the woman said that she woke up and was in some smaller name. Doesn't matter. Google. But as soon as that came out, Jay-Z deleted all of his fucking Instagram stuff and a lot of the articles have said that nobody's been able to get in touch with him. They think that he fled the country. So that's going to be
Well,
interesting.
speaking, we're rolling into Epstein files. I'm not done with football, but speaking of the Epstein files, I was watching a video about Michael Jackson. The thing that I saw, now I don't know if this is true or not because didn't have that much time to research as I literally just was watching a little bit ago. God, what the hell was his little theme park? Wonderland? Is that what it was?
Oh, Michael Jackson. Neverland.
Neverland. His Neverland Ranch.
Neverland Ranch. That's
The
it.
video I watched said that the Neverland Ranch, he used that to attract kids, to bring them to Neverland Ranch, to get them away from the pedophiles.
Yes.
He knew it was going on, so he was getting them away from the pedophiles. And another thing that I seen that I found interesting, there was a phone conversation, and it was recorded with Michael Jackson. I don't know who he was talking to, but he was telling them that he could feel it in his soul that he was going to get killed. He could feel it in his soul. He even said that he knew that he was going to die and it was going to be labeled as a drug overdose. And I'm like, man, this is some weird shit. And another thing I seen about Mr. Michael Jackson, he owned 50% of Sony Music Productions.
I remember seeing that back in the day, I never got big into it, but another guy we went to high school with, Kevin Brown, who was a big Michael Jackson fan. Hi, Kevin. I don't know if you listened, but I remember him kind of saying that it was killed because he was owning the rights to music. That was kind of the thing. He owned like 51% of the Beatles record thing. And so the conspiracy theory back in the day was that he was killed because he was fucking with the big money.
Yeah. So that's all allegedly.
Allegedly.
I mean, it's hard to tell what is real and what is fake nowadays, but that was very interesting. All right, I'm going back to football.
Back to football.
Class of 2026, the official inductees.
Oh,
We have Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald
which makes sense.
were both first ballot inductees. And then you had three after that. Luke Kuechly, linebacker from the Panthers.
I don't agree with that. Not first ballot.
He was not
Luke
first.
Kuechly
No.
over Bill Belichick
It
and
doesn't-
over Robert Kraft. I mean, I think Robert Kraft's a fucking Zionist piece of shit.
I don't think
But-
he was first ballot. On here it's saying Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald were the only two that were first ballot.
Okay, so he's not first. But still, even said, what did Luke Kuechly get? Does he have a Super Bowl ring? Does he have any records?
His records are through the roof. Middle linebacker, he's a stud. But I think the fourth pick, Adam Vinatieri.
That's an obvious one.
Yeah, but
I think Adam did.
he should have been first ballot.
Was he not first ballot?
He was not first ballot. He should have been first ballot.
Probably because he's a kicker. They probably were a little.
He's a kicker that has won how many Super Bowls on
for
his
both
foot?
Patriots and Colts.
Yeah, and when you look at the first one with the Patriots, not the Super Bowl game, but the AFC Championship game, when he kicked it in the snow, that was amazing. He should have been a first ballot.
He should have been.
He
What is that? Is that second or third ballot for Adam Vinatieri?
It's not saying.
It's got to be. It's got to be second or third. Still, I'm surprised that Bill Belichick, and again, I'm no Patriots fan, but how do you not put Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft into the fucking Hall of Fame first round? I mean, there's nobody else that has done what, I mean, yeah, Tom Brady is the main person behind that, but you have to have the wherewithal to coach that talent. You have to have the wherewithal to draft that talent, to keep that talent, to pay that talent. I mean, there's so many more missing pieces than just having Tom Brady on your team.
Since you're bringing them two up, that didn't make it. Can you tell me a little bit about the fifth one that made it? Roger Craig.
No, I've never even heard that. Who the fuck is that?
Roger Craig, he's a running back. He comes in the senior category. I have no clue who he played for, but he was one of the first dual threat running backs. So running back / receiver. Somehow he got more votes than Robert Kraft.
Well,
And it's nothing against Roger Craig. He might have been a great, he's obviously before our time, but I've never heard of him. We've heard of a lot of players before our time.
Yeah. What was the name? Roger Craig?
Roger Craig. Yep, just how it sounds. Recognized as a senior candidate, inducted for his historic contributions.
I mean, maybe that's why he made it on when you look at it like that. He was a running back for the San Francisco 49ers between 1983 and 1990. He was the first player in NFL history to have 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards in the same season. He was a key piece of Bill Walsh's West Coast offense. 3-time Super Bowl champion. That makes sense. Offensive Player of the Year in 1988, which is crazy to have the Offensive Player of the Year. I'm thinking of
who was this quarterback? Was it Joe Montana?
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana.
83 to 1990. I don't think that was Joe Montana. I think Joe Montana was like the 90s, right?
A little after that.
Who was
Which, if you don't remember Joe Montana is the one that got screwed over by Steve Young. And if you don't remember Steve Young was a left-handed quarterback.
And if you don't know left-handed quarterback.
Yeah, if you don't know what a left hand is, look at your right hand, the other one's left.
No, you're right, Joe Montana.
And if you are left-handed, you probably can't do anything.
Joe Montana, Craig's peak years, mid-1980s, included his historic year with Joe Montana. Later seasons also overlapped with Steve Young. So he was both. Wait, if I can look at us. Look at our Super Bowl knowledge.
Yeah.
Well, when I think of left-handed quarterbacks, obviously you got what's his name down in Miami, Tua Tagovailoa. And then you got, I always think of Kellen Moore because obviously I think of Cowboys. You know, Kellen Moore was one of the few left-handed quarterbacks that was a backup. I remember when he played with the Cowboys, and then he became that. Now he's the fucking New Orleans Saints coach.
I think there was another left-handed quarterback. Let me. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, Michael Vick was left-handed.
Right?
Now here's my take.
It made
on
it easier for him to strangle dogs with it, right?
Now here's my take on left-handed quarterbacks, and it's nothing against left-handed people.
They're the devil.
I have a daughter that's left-handed. Imagine that. But what's your strong side on the offensive line? Your left tackle.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's the blind side of the quarterback, but with a left-handed quarterback, that is not your blind side. So you just built your offensive line to fit a right-handed quarterback, and then you turn around and drafted a left.
So you have to, you'd be smart too, and obviously I'm sure that a lot of these offensive coordinators do that, try to beef up the right side more so.
Yeah, the blind side.
Yeah.
But yeah, Michael Vick.
And it's pissed me off over the years that he's been given such a fucking pass, dude. Because I remember when he first got out of jail and was signed with the Eagles, and everybody was like, "Boo, fuck Michael Vick." Well, at least we were. I'm gonna get a little racial here for a second. So, and he's like, "Oh no,
I didn't mind."
He saying? Well, I was working out at the mill at the time, and I will tell you what, there was a very big divide between. And this is not anybody that knows me knows that I am not, this is not a fucking thing, but there was a big divide between the black dudes out at the mill and the white dudes. All the white dudes were like, "I can't believe you're still fucking supporting Michael Vick." The black dudes, there was a cultural thing where a lot of the guys that worked out there with me were like, "Well, that's just a part of the black community culture." And we were all like, "Killing dogs?"
I do say that as it's not funny, but it is funny because what's the latest thing now? What is white culture? I scroll through Facebook or TikTok or whatever. What is
spicy
culture?
mayonnaise? Well, like I'll make fun of white people all day long. Like I'm not trying to say anything, but it was such a cultural thing. It was the same thing as like the O.J. Simpson fucking murders, right? It was the same sort of deal. Like, well, of course the brother fucking got. I mean, look at Dave Chappelle is my favorite comedian ever, right? And he'll even say on there like, "Well, yeah, of course all the brothers didn't want O.J. Simpson to go to jail." fuck it. Fuck that bitch. Like, I think he has a bit where he says that. Like, it's a, it's a comedy bit. But that was like Mike Vick was kind of in that same, like, OJ Simpson, whatever. Like, a lot of the black dudes I worked with out there were big Mike Vick fans because they were like, hey, fuck yeah, he beat the system and he fucking came back and he's winning. And I hated him as a Cowboys fan, first of all, as a animal lover, second of all, and somebody that hates left-handed people as a third. No, I'm just joking. But
Yep, he is shit. Left up. I gotta move this out of my way. It's driving me nuts.
sorry.
We
We
here's
gotta move all the ladies that sit underneath the bar.
yeah.
Mm.
Here's the thing that's interesting. I just asked Michael Vick, is he left-handed? And this is, I'm gonna read you what it says. So one of the most famous lefty quarterbacks ever. They even flipped protections and play designs because his blind side was on the right side, which used to mess with the defenses and sometimes his own linemen.
But yeah, you build it all to go in one direction. That makes sense. Well, and he was, I mean, God, remember he used to be a cheat code on Madden because he had a 99 speed. He was a fast motherfucker. You would just, quick play action, boop, pop one out there, first down, run out of bounds, good to go. And he was good. I mean, he was a good quarterback. But, I do feel like there was, I guess at a certain point you wonder why societally you're just like okay with it. And now he does a bunch of shit. Not, yeah, he paid a bunch of money to a lot of people, and I guess people say he atoned for his sins, and you gotta forgive and forget, and yada yada yada. But man, I don't know. There's some shit that I just don't feel like you don't necessarily have to like drag him behind your car, but there's a fucking middle ground here.
You could use him in two ways. You could say that, hey, the rehabilitation system works. You could say that,
or you could say, if you have enough money, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But talking about the Epstein files, I mean, that's the same idea. The Epstein files are, if there's anything about it, that's basically what it says. Like, oh, so the assumption that if you have enough money and enough influence, you can literally just do whatever the fuck you want. That's what the Epstein files tells us. And that's what tells us about the whole system just being a goddamn scam. So you might as well just enjoy your life and do your shit, That's why I don't get too worked up about, again, like I'll have my opinion. If you ask me my opinion about shit, which obviously if you're watching the show, you give at least half of a fuck about what our opinion is on certain things. They're like, okay, Bad Bunny showing up with a dress and speaking Spanish the whole goddamn time. Is it annoying? Sure. Like for us, we're fucking 40. What do you expect? We're 40-year-old white dads. You know what I mean? Like, what do you fucking want from us? Like, this is just it. Like, there's nothing. Here's the fucking problem is that everybody wants to culturally not accept the fact that people have different points of view. Now, with that being said, when I'm hanging out with certain people and I understand, I was on the cement job the other day and most of them were lower English speaking Mexican dudes. And I was talking to one guy, a younger guy, and we're bullshitting a little bit. And we're talking, he was like in his mid-20s, and he was talking about having his girlfriend and maybe getting married down the road. And I was giving him, my advice. And I was like, well, do what you want. My advice was to have kids a little bit younger so that when you do get a little bit older, you're still able to go and do shit while you're still healthy. And we're talking a little bit, and he was talking, and I was like, so what's your thought process? I know you're up here working, he's from Mexico. And I was like, I know you're up here in America working right now. He was on a work visa. He was legal. Wasn't illegal. I said, is your game plan to move to America? And he's like, he goes, maybe at one point we would have thought. And he's like, but just the way that things have been, he's like, I don't think that would be our game plan. So a couple of points about this. One, that's kind of what you want. You don't want to bring more people over. Like, he was a nice kid. And he was doing shit the legal way, doing it the right way. But again, we can all agree without getting on a huge tirade that we have enough fucking people here, right? The no is lit up on the vacancy sign, right?
Well,
Well, the second part is, real quick, keep that thought in mind because the funny thing is that then I said, yeah, me and my girlfriend have talked about at this point in our lives, maybe down the road, once we get married and do whatever,
so you're planning on getting married?
Don't fucking put me in that. She's right here. She's right here in the room. I fucking I can neither
Do
confirm
you
nor
want to
deny.
propose on
Shut the
air?
fuck up. I am not proposing on air right now. So
She gave a thumbs up.
she gave a thumbs down. But my point was that I go, we talked about maybe going to like Spain, Italy. Like, I'm like, I could see like a retirement plan where I'm like, the older I get, the more I think that maybe I could see myself retiring in another country. Right. And I go, I never thought I'd be able to say that. I never thought that I would have enough, like, not disdain, but like of my own government to go, you know what? Fuck it. I could live somewhere else. Right. And I brought that up to him and he goes, yeah. And he goes, but the problem is you got to be real careful over there because a lot of those countries over there are getting overrun by Muslims and it's just changing their whole culture. And I go, right? Funny how that happens, huh? And we just sat there. We kind of like looked at each other and it was just this like moment of both of us being like, uh-huh. Like, because it's the truth. Like, if you go about a conversation and you're having, and again, he was a nice guy. We were talking about the Bad Bunny shit, and he's like, "Oh, well, that's just because a lot of Americans are racist and blah blah blah." And I didn't argue with him. I wasn't there to argue with this motherfucker, right? I was just like, okay.
Well,
But
I
then we get
think he's
around to
wrong
that
there,
point.
though. When you
I think he's wrong too.
you can't
Obviously.
say a lot of Americans are racist. And I think people are racist all around this world.
He was an early 20-year-old kid. I wasn't gonna
He still
push
doesn't.
too much. There's only so much. Sometimes you just have to have. Has had his life experiences. I wasn't going to change his mind. I wasn't going to try to change his mind in that moment. We're on a job site. It's not really the place to change his mind. It's not really my place to tell him what to do. I just kind of bit my tongue. I'm getting way better at that as I get older.
Yeah.
I save it for the podcast.
So
So, anyways, though, before you forget what your point
I
was.
had a phone conversation last night with somebody. If you're listening, I know you'll listen, so you'll know I'm talking about you, but I'm not going to name names. I was told that
I'm on the phone with this asshole now.
I was on the phone with her. One of her friends got deported.
Oh shit.
Yeah, got deported. He's in his 50s. He's in his 50s, has kids that are teenagers, mid to late teens. He's lived here since, 18, 19, 20 years old. Been obviously brought over by his parents, but he's a union worker. He's been here in the union for 30 years, almost 30 years, about to retire. And one of his union buddies
Oh shit.
called in on him, and immigration picked him up and deported him.
Wow.
That's insane. And
Crazy,
what
man.
drives me nuts is you have Trump out there. We're going after the murderers, the pedophiles. We're going after this. This was a guy that's been here for 30 some years.
Yeah.
He's been working in the trades, paying taxes for 30 some years.
Well, and here's my thing. How is that
hold on.
possible then? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You pick him up, you send him back to basically, let's face it, they
Where's he
shipped
from?
him home from Mexico.
Mexico.
Shipped him home, but that is a foreign country. To him, that is a foreign country. He has no family over there now. Just
Right.
shipped him over. Do you know what the immigration lawyer told him?
Get fucked.
He might as well have. Try to become a citizen in about 20 years.
So just die.
Basically. Yeah.
Now here's my thing I wanted to interject. So how did he make it? Do you know how? So how is it that you can? Did he have like a fake social security number? Because how are you here illegally and still getting hired? And so that's my thing. Is to me, the bigger issue is how the fuck can he be a union brother and illegal? How is that even conceivable?
Yeah, but your visas have time limits on. So you come in, you fill out all the correct paperwork, you get your visa, and then you just stay.
So that's where if you want to be really fucking serious about solving the immigration crisis, and we've talked about this a little bit on past shows, then you don't worry about necessarily going after motherfuckers like that.
How about we not call them motherfucker? This is a kid's show.
I'm sorry. No, come on. They're gonna, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
But
I'm sorry. I'll stop swearing so much though.
Instead of going after people like that, let's face it, they came over for a better life to work. They're working. How about the one, let's say if you come over, you get a green card, you're working. Show us in 2.5 to 5 years on what you're doing to better yourselves, and we'll give you an easier path to assimilate and become a citizen.
Yeah.
Instead, it's, to become a citizen is so freaking hard. that it's easier for you just to say, you know what, I'm just going to let my green card expire and I'm just going to stay and risk it.
Yeah. And but like I said, if you really wanted to solve that problem, then you go after the companies. And you know that that's not what's going to happen. They're not going to go after the companies because those are the people that donate money. That's what this all comes down to. They don't want to pull people out of the gardens and out of the fucking working areas because those are the people that are saving the rich people a shit ton of money. I
And
mean, that's what it always comes down to money.
and when you say union,
Yeah, like you don't they have any sort of responsibility to check on that? Or no? It's been a long
not
time since
really.
I've been in a union. I mean, I am not
You
Travis
you
Gearhart,
pro-
your union, you know.
you provide them with your ID, with your numbers and all that. I mean, is it their job to run a background check on you? Not really. And I'll blow your mind. I'll fucking blow your mind. My union steward worked at the company I work at for 35 years, almost 40 years. We had no idea that he was an illegal alien until I saw him post on Facebook like 2 years ago that I just got my citizenship. No idea. Nobody knew that.
Yeah.
Nobody had a clue.
Well, mostly because, we're one of those few people that mind our own fucking business. Mostly I'm not gonna ask right off the bat what your
But
status is.
but at the same time, if you are here illegally and you're a productive citizen, then it should be easier on you.
Yeah. I'm with you. I mean, and generally speaking, everybody has that same thought process, right? I mean, nobody wants your whole, there is a point where you look at it from a cultural standpoint, right? Like nobody wants to end up having so many people coming into your area that become essentially the minority, right? Like that's what that's really what you have people like the that are in more of like the further right white nationalist point of view, right? Like we want to limit it because at the end of the day there is something about changing the culture. You're seeing it happen in England, you're seeing it happen in Germany where you're importing so many people. You see it in Minnesota with
Well,
all the
yeah, you see
Somalians
it
and
here
all that shit. You
and
see it over here
you just don't see it here
in
countrywide. You see it in pockets.
yeah,
But at the same time, like I said when we were talking to, what was the guy's name from Detroit?
Mike Saliba.
When we talked to Mike Saliba, I mentioned that if you eliminate the welfare systems that the illegals are coming here and getting on, if that wasn't available to them, they wouldn't have came here in the first place.
Sure.
Now, the situation that I was just talking about, he didn't come here to get on welfare. He came here to work. And when we were talking to Saliba, if eliminate the welfare, they won't come. If they do come, they're coming to work.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yep. Well, and that was also why the fair tax was such a was such a good idea because it has the ability to if you're here and you're a legal person, well then you get the prebate check, right? So
It's
it does
the
help.
fair
I'm
the
just saying
fair
like that's a
tax
part of it.
the fair tax is basically a nationwide sales tax,
Consumption tax.
consumption tax, which I don't have a problem with. But that will never happen because every big business out there,
They like to be able to pour money in to save money. That's
it.
it.
You got it.
That's
They
it.
have to buy things to keep their business operational, and they do not want to
Yep.
pay that tax to keep their business running.
Well, and then you have
But at the same time, let's face it too. Who pays taxes in this world?
you and me.
Consumers.
Yep.
So when a big business buys something and they pay that 23% tax on whatever they buy to turn around and resell to us, we are going to pay that 23% tax. We're going to pay our portion and we're going to pay their portion to cover their expense.
Yeah, that is the harsh reality of something like the fair taxes. In order to make the fair tax quote unquote fair, is that you would have to pass it in its entirety, right? So, and the reality of it is that you and I both know that big money would get their fucking claws in, and that's why not to be black pilled. Obviously, I'm running as a libertarian, and so I still have some hope that you can get in and change the system for the better. But I think major changes have to happen in order to prevent. It's just I don't want to speak it into existence, but in order to prevent an actual civil fucking war. I mean, there's so many differences now. Everybody's so divided at this point. I mean, fuck, we can't even agree on the same goddamn Super Bowl halftime show. right? Like son of a bitch. Like we can't even discuss that. It's almost two entirely different types of people. You have three really. You have the fucking guys that don't know what bathroom to go into, that are showing up and making it a priority to be an ICE protester.
And
And
then
then
you
on the
have the
other side, you
guys
have the guys that
you have
are
the guys like Travis that are assuming their genders.
I will always assume their genders. Always. I will assume everything. Fuck it. But then on like the other side, you have the guys that are like, oh, that bitch deserved to get shot in the face. And I'm like, well, hold on. There is a middle fucking opinion here. Like I think one asshole shot another asshole, but I don't think the other asshole had to die. And I think the one guy probably sucks at his job and, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, you can't even have a discussion like that without it turning it into this whole big thing. So I don't know, man. I don't know what the right answer is. I think where we're going as a nation is I think we are at a huge turning point. No pun on that either. And yeah, it's interesting. It's a little scary. I think it's a crazy time to be alive, though. But anyways, we've touched on some national. We've touched on sports. We touched on everything. We got about 16 minutes, and
16 minutes.
we promised on a couple of shows, a couple of shows ago, that we were going to touch on some of the local Porter County, Northwest Indiana races.
Yeah. So the filing deadline was Friday, February 6th at noon. So
one day ago.
Yeah, 1 day ago.
We have the final fucking tallies.
This should all be up to date. For county clerk, Jackie Haney, Republican, versus Barbara Dahmer or Doomer, I'm not sure.
Dahmer's going to eat the competition.
Yeah, she's going to eat up that Jackie girl. She is a Democrat. Imagine that. Karen Martin, Republican, for auditor. Recorder, we have John Miller, Republican, versus Leslie Nuss Bamsberger, Democrat. Sheriff, we only have Jeffrey Ballin, Republican, no Democrat. Right. You know the Democrats are they have till what, end of June, July, something like that, to file somebody when it's open. I definitely see the Democrats filing somebody.
Unless there's a deal in the works. You know how that shit works.
Possibly. Coroner, 3 Republicans, Jeff Beach, Brian Bowles, and Jerame Simpson.
We're going to have Brian Bowles on the show in the coming weeks. We're just getting the scheduling stuff taken care of. And the other 2 are more than welcome to come on. Like if you listen to it or you see
the other 3
interview with them, or the other 2 rather.
Because we have 3 Republicans, so one of them will face off against Democrat Julie Wicken-Smith. That's 2 last names, Wicken-Smith.
Well, it's because they're a Democrat. Is it hyphenated?
Wicken-Smith, sure.
That's always how it works.
Assessor, we have Sue Neff, Republican Sue Neff, going up against Democrat Scott J. Kingen.
Is he hyphenated too?
He is not. Commissioner, District 2. 2 Republicans, Mike Brickner, Cindy Dykes, versus 2 Democrats, James Kokel or Kyle S. Nelson. We know Mike Brickner. We know Cindy Dykes. The Democrats, we do not know. Council District 1, Republican, Ronald Redstone versus nobody. They don't have a Democrat yet. But, the Democrats, they've got time. If there's not going to be a primary, I could definitely see them. If they do not make it a contested race, then they're just stupid and lazy, because I see a blue wave coming, and that's down the whole ballot.
Well, and they might be that might be smart for telling their people, like, hey, if you lose this primary, don't worry, we're gonna stick you in there. You know what I mean? They might be trying to see what sort of what the numbers are looking like. I mean, maybe I'm giving the Porter County Democrats too much, whatever. But
here in County Council District 2, Spencer Lemons, Republican, versus Democrat Brian Gully. District 3, we have 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, Dawn Miller, Kyle Reynolds, both Republicans. They got a primary. But they're going to face off against either Democrat Jack Tippold or Democrat Greg Sims. County Council District 4. The Democrat Julia Kokel will face off against either Craig Kenworthy. I'm rooting for Craig Kenworthy because the other one is Republican Andy Vasquez. Andy Vasquez. You're buddies with him, aren't you?
We knew each other through 4-H stuff back in the day, and he was a I don't know. There was a whole bunch of different guys that end up not caring for me down the road, and I'll give some quick backstory on that. Is that there was a county council candidate, Jim Polaric, that ran for Porter County Council in South County,
Well, isn't
and
this when they started having me and you do some dirty work against
well, that
these
was
people?
a little bit, yeah. But part of the reason I was willing to do the dirty work against him was because, like, I went in hard on Jim Polaric, and I liked him. I thought he was a good candidate. I thought he had a lot of good ideas. I was all for him. And I haven't talked to him in ages. He might be a fine person. Like, I don't have anything. I'm not talking shit. I really am not. But then after he won, and he won pretty good. It was a hard fought race. The very next year, he jumps into the county commissioner race, and I was like, "What are you doing, man?" Because he jumped in after Mike Heinhold had jumped into that race. And I was excited about Mike Heinhold because obviously he's got a good last name and he was also involved in 4-H stuff. He's Republican. And so then I had to make a decision because at the time they really needed Hebron votes. They needed people down in Hebron to do a lot of stuff with the Republicans. And so that was you and me. And this was right when you first started. I started dragging you into it right around this time. And so I was only involved in it a short scant amount before you were. And so I started dragging Keith in, and Kevin Tracy got involved in some stuff too, although he was up in Chesterton more so. And so we started doing that shit, and I jumped in with Heinold. And I remember Polaric messaged me like, "Hey, thanks, bud. Really fucking appreciate it." Like, he got like shitty with me about it. And that was also, Bob Wishlinski was kind of in that group. And again, nothing against any of these people. This is just historical shit that, we don't care anymore. That's the point of this shit. Like, I'll fucking spill all the tea. And Vasquez was kind of in that thing too. Like, they were all kind of pissy with me that I jumped in with Mike Heinold. And I was like, look, man, I just put my name on the line to say, hey, this dude has a 4-year plan and this big vision. And he had this really nice, I like the design. It was like people. And then it was like a division sign. And it said politics, like people over politics. So it was just really, I was fucking gung ho, dude. I did all kinds of door to door shit. I wrote a letter to people that said, hey, this is why I support this person. You might know me. My parents were involved in 4-H. My mom's a teacher. Like, I put my name on the line. And the very next year you jump in to a different race, I was kind of pissed off. Not even pissed off, just disappointed. I was pissed off after he said, fuck you, Travis. Okay. Now, obviously, Heinhold ended up getting a fucking DUI, which
I forgot what happened with that guy.
yeah, he got a big DUI, which the big thing about it was there was a race going on at the time. I would hand on a Bible, if you asked me to testify, I would guarantee you he was set up. I guarantee you he
I
was
don't
set up. So it was Heinhold versus Sher Blaney. I guarantee you that there was I'm not saying that she was the one that put the cop up to it, but at the time the sheriff, because it was the sheriff department that pulled him over, and the sheriff was run by the Democrats, and so he got pulled over for DUI. There was a very close race, and I liked Laura, and I messaged her after the fact, after she won, and I congratulated her and said, hey, I was pulling for Mike hard down here because I think he would have done a good job, but as a Republican, but I don't think you're going to do a bad job as well. I'm happy that you won, blah, blah, blah. And me and her have had a fine relationship over the years. But yeah, I'm not saying that she had anything to do with it, but it was awfully suspicious, all the surroundings about it, So regardless, that was kind of the little backstory with that.
Well, since you're talking about her and you guys having a fine relationship,
I
that's
know you
nice.
guys had a little
That's
bit of a
nice.
tiff.
I had I don't remember what year it was, but we had a pretty bad rainstorm here. People were flooding out. Even in the country, people were flooding out. I had a farmer call me. His grandmother's house was flooding. He was putting sandbags up around the house. I didn't have a problem with that. Why would I? I am not a county councilman or county commissioner or anything. I didn't have a problem with that at all. But Miss Blaney did, and she sent the county over there to rip his sandbags down to save the road because the road was flooding, but in turn flooded out his grandmother's house. So we saved a county road that nobody was driving on and flooded out the house that was there because, what if somebody drove down that road? And then in turn, I said something on social media about that, and I got a phone call and an email from the then chairman of the Republican Party trying to chew my ass out. But there's a problem. You can't chew my ass out because I didn't give a fuck then, and I don't give a fuck now.
Yep. Yep.
That is why I'm disenfranchised. You do not
Yeah.
tell me what.
Well, those are all, and that's one of the things that we like about doing the show is that like those are stories I haven't thought about in years until we started doing this, and then like the fucking gerbil starts
Yep.
running.
Well,
There's
hold
so
on.
much that's up there like I don't even think about until you start talking about it, but it's exactly true, and it's exactly all the kind of behind the scenes stuff because Blaney was very tight. Her husband was a well known Republican in the area, and again, I never ran it. I heard stories from you. I heard stories from other people that did have issue. I know from my experience, this isn't me being political because I have no reason to. I'm just saying I always got along with her. I never had any issues. I've
Uh,
heard that other
I
people
don't.
did, but me personally, I never did.
I do not agree with the way the commissioners are elected. District 1, District 2, District 3. So 3 commissioners in the county. District 3 is the southern portion of the county.
Mhm.
But yet you are elected as basically an at-large seat. You must live in that district. The whole county can elect you.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
But what was her big thing that she got done? She built a
Animal shelter,
new animal shelter.
which needed to be done. That other one was falling
Well,
the fuck apart.
is that animal shelter in the district that she represents?
It's not.
It is not.
It is not.
Oh.
That is true.
No.
That was one of the things, and I remember at the time there was a lot of shit. I know Polaric was big against it. Jim Biggs was big against it, and they had different reasons. I don't want to speak for them or anything. And I honestly don't remember. I don't remember what it was. It was kind of a non-issue to me. I didn't get too much involved in that debate
Well,
because it needed to happen. But I also understood. I remember at the time understanding where they were coming from because I think there was more money, if I remember correctly. And again, I'm reaching in the back of my brain. If I remember correctly, their bitch was the amount of money that was going to be spent on it. The location, I think, was a little bit of a bitch.
My bitch. Here's my bit. Yes, it needed to happen. Money. You talk about that all you want. Whatever. I don't give a shit. But as a Hebron town councilman, I have never worked on a project in Couts.
Sure.
I have only worked in the area that I represented.
Yeah.
That's my biggest bitch. So you can put your name on that building. Congratulations. I'm glad you represented your district the way that you did, but I don't agree with it. Anyways,
I think that's fair.
you can go to the group of guys that you're talking about, Andy Vasquez, Polaric. They have another one of their little henchmen, Howard O'Connor. He was part of that group of retards. All right, Howard O'Connor is your current sitting Boone Township trustee. And I think it was Thursday, might have been early Friday. He now has an opponent.
Which is not shocking.
Democrat David Ramsey is going up against Republican Howard O'Connor. Now, I want to throw this out there. Travis, you ran against Howard O'Connor's buddy, Jeff Grogan, in 2012, and you beat him by 61. Travis took 61.32% of the vote. Did you really? That was, that was going up against.
Let me whip this thing out.
Yeah. Think about it, though. 61.32% against Democrat Jeff Grogan. The incumbent Jeff Grogan.
In a Union Democrat town.
Union Democrat town.
I was also 25 years old.
Yeah, you were 25 years old at the time.
Uh-huh.
Man.
I remember, I'll see if I can find the video. There's a video, and this is back when all those guys were cool with me, there's a video where I come inside from going outside to smoke a cigarette, and somebody had just come outside and said, "You won." And I go, "What?" Because I honestly, you don't fucking, you put in the work, you hope, you do all the shit. But then, you hope for the best, you expect the worst, and that way you can never be disappointed.
Hey, I ran the very next, 4 years after that, I had a primary against Howard O'Connor, and I felt the same way. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is going to beat me. You get in your own head. You get in your own head. And then as the numbers are coming in, I'm like, shit, I don't even remember the precincts, but I'm like, oh shit, Howard received 1 vote in that precinct. I was like,
well, the point I was making was in the video that's somebody comes in and they go, "You have a mandate," and I think it was Bob Wishlinski, and Bob goes, "You have a mandate," and I go, "With who?" And I wasn't trying to make a joke. Everybody laughed, and I was like, "No, I actually don't." It took me like a second to put the numbers together, but yeah, that was interesting. Those interesting times, man.
Well,
Long ass fucking time ago.
well,
Lifetime ago.
that year when, same election cycle, the at-large seats for the town was Don Ensign, Dave Peeler, both Democrats. Then you had Howard L. O'Connor running also. There's 2 at-large seats. Howard lost. Don took 37.31, Dave 3506, and Howard O'Connor with 27.63. Now, the interesting thing, and I'm only bringing this up, I'm going to click that out of there actually and bring the next one up. What was it? Was it the following year? No, 2016, 5/13/2016. So the primary election in 2016, so we're jumping ahead 4 years. Travis, you ran again, this time not for town council, but for county council at large. I think it was at large, wasn't it?
Yep.
And you lost to Jeff Larson. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 on the ballot for Republican side at large. Top 2 get it. It was Jeff Larson and Rich Parks.
Yep. And
Isn't that
Jeff
right?
Larson made it on in the in the other one. But I moved forward in the primary.
Okay. But the one that received the least amount of votes with 15%, 15.77, was Mr. O'Connor. Mr. O'Connor has ran for county council, town council, school board. He's ran for everything under the sun, and he has lost. The only time that he didn't even win, he spoke with the head of the Porter County Republican Party, and he got some precinct committeemen taken off. I was one of them.
Who would that be? Oh, that would be you guys.
I was one of them that was taken off, and Amy was also taken off, and he replaced us with his buddies, and it's kind of interesting.
If you ever want to know how politics works.
Yeah, he replaced us with his buddies, and then when Amy was resigning because we moved down here, we looked at it, we're like, well, at least we get to pick your replacement. That's the nice thing as being a precinct committeeman. When somebody resigns, the precinct committeemen pick the ones that take their place. But then when we looked it up, we're like, we got removed. When did we get removed? Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue when we got removed. I know when I got put on there because I remember Howard, when he filed to run against me in a primary, he pissed me off. So I put my name in there for precinct committeeman, and I put my name in there for state delegate, and I beat the crap out of him in every fucking election ever since.
Well,
and now,
and again, and the biggest issue was that he would go around and fucking tell people that one of the main reasons he wanted to fucking get a governmental job was because he needed to fucking pay his bills.
Exactly. Needed to pay his bills. My wife resigns. Amy resigns. He goes in as the Boone Township trustee because he stacked the precinct committeemen, had the ones that were not favorable to him removed, and had his buddies put in there. Now, mind you, the only reason they feel that they owe Howard anything is because he was what me and Travis would call him, the sign bitch. If you needed signs put down south, give them to Howard O'Connor because he's the sign bitch, and he'll pick your signs up and he'll put them on every goddamn corner. Nobody likes him. He's an idiot, but
and oftentimes I would have
there.
people show up to my house and be like, "Hey, why is your fucking sign in my yard?" And I'd be like, "What do you mean?" They'd be like, "I didn't give anybody permission." And I would be like, "Well, what's the address? Blah blah blah." And I'd be like, "Howard, did you put that sign in there?" "Well, yeah." "You got to ask him permission, dumbass." Like those would be the conversations. I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I remember fucking yelling at him on my goddamn front porch. I was 25 years old. He was probably in his 40s at the time. And and being like, "Dude, quit putting words in my mouth." Like he would go and tell people, "Well, Travis says the Travis is this." And I'd be like, I never said that. So it's just, there's a certain amount of time. And again, this isn't a personal thing because I went to school with his son. I used to play music with his son, actually. His son was a drummer in a different band that played with us and shit. Nice guy, nice family, nothing against him, honestly. But there is a certain point in time when you realize that you can't have the fucking person that is the town idiot in charge of anything.
So here's another thing that's funny. When I was running a primary against him, can you tell me how much door-to-door I did?
What, in your prime? Oh, none. I
None.
guarantee you none.
None. Because I like math. I'm more of a mathematician. So if you go door to door, this is for you,
Your young
your
politicians,
your
young
your your
politicos.
Tyler Bridges that's running for election, and the guy in Detroit. When you go door to door, you have a 50% chance. Either they're going to say, yes, I like you, I agree with you. As soon as they agree with you, get the fuck off their porch and move on. Or you can stay there, you can talk too long, you overtalked, you overstayed your welcome, and now you're a no vote.
Yep.
Now, you've got people like Mr. O'Connor when he was running against me. I'd watch him walk down my street talking to my neighbors. Are you fucking kidding me? You're going to go get my next door neighbor's vote over me? You're an idiot. And you sit there and you talk to him, and you know what they'd say to me? This guy's an idiot. He has no clue what he's talking about. And I said, yeah, I know, but I like seeing him going door to door because he's losing everybody. And the numbers, I mean, hell, one district, he got one vote. One vote. And they probably didn't vote for him. They probably just voted against me.
Yeah.
And now I see it. To see, I'd have to say, you know what? I am happier than a pig in shit. I don't know who the fuck this David Ramsey guy is, this Democrat David Ramsey, although my daughter looked him up. She found him. I think he has a bachelor's degree. He might have a master's degree.
Oh.
But sounds to be an educated individual. I kind of hope he listens to this too. You do not. There is no need to go door to door against a candidate that is going to go door to door, and he's going to talk everybody out of voting for him.
True.
So if I were you, Mr. David Ramsey, make yourself a social media page and just share it around your Hebron, Indiana chatters and all that bullshit.
And we're more than happy to, again, we've got some good guests coming along, both political and then non-political. We're going to have the Ghost Hunter guy back. He's fucking down. We got Mark Richards. He's like, a lot of people don't realize that in the region, we have one of the best cornhole champions living in Northwest Indiana. We got him coming on.
We have a cornholer wanting to come
Cornhole.
talk to tell us why he's disenfranchised.
Well, my point was though that we have Ryan Dolls coming on soon. He's a local candidate. Any local candidates? Well, first of all, get with Dion's Daily Dose because that's literally what Dion does. Dion does candidate stuff, and we're gonna do one once the state convention goes on. I'm gonna be on Dion's thing. We talked about it. We're gonna do that, but then we're also going to. My point is though that you can come on here and we'll fucking have you on. I'm down for it. Let's do it.
And we don't ask these gotcha questions. We'll take Republicans, Democrats, hell.
Exactly.
If Mr. O'Connor, even though we've screwed you over multiple times, over and over again, we've had fun doing it. If you want to come on the show, go ahead, come on the show. I'll let you come on the show. I'll screw you over one more time. Oh, sure. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, or disenfranchisedpodcast.com. But
like and subscribe, please, please, please. We have so many people that watch shit and they don't subscribe. Subscribe.
Yeah, we have people that watch and just hit the like button. Not that hard. We've talked about, we check out the different analytics that come with these different platforms. They show you how everything's going, but we're not going to get away from politics. We're going to leave politics in here, but we're going to try to focus more on being like a man should. Now, with football being over, football is my number one sport. I mean, when it's over, I go into a very sad depression, and you're lucky if I make it through. We're going to have, MLB coming up. We're going to be talking to some other people. Maybe we'll get them on the show. We can do cuts of them.
Yeah.
Giving us updates on.
Well, like
MLB.
I said, we got the cornhole guy coming up. We got some other stuff coming up as far as how that goes.
Cornhole guy. We have an update. We're doing an update with Chaos. What the hell is it called?
Yeah. Like McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel.
Yep.
Paranormal investigator. He has completed his investigation in Highland on the, poltergeist? I think it was. But anyways, we're going to talk to a few people, and maybe who knows, maybe we'll have recordings of them to drop in there to tell us what's going on with MLB.
Hell yeah.
MLB or NHL, because I don't, I'll keep up on the football stuff, the draft and all that, and
yeah,
we'll see. But that's about a wrap. I think that's about all we got.
Yeah, I think it's a good show. I think it was a good show. Well, we appreciate you guys sticking with us. You know, we the numbers have definitely shown on our end. We can see that having the guest shows and having these ones are definitely it's resonating. We're getting a lot of comments both off and on, and we appreciate you guys coming and hanging with us. You know, you're going to get a lot of shit from us as far as information goes. We try not to touch on the same stuff that everybody else is fucking touching on, but we also try to, I don't know, I feel like you and I have said before, like we want this to be something that we would listen to. We want it to be honest. You know, if you're going to get anything from us, it's going to be fucking honesty. You might not always like it. You might not agree with it, and that's okay. I listen to lots of podcasts I don't agree with everything on.
I do too. I kind of veered away from Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
But
certain guests, like if he gets like really cool guests on, or like a guest I really like, I watch him. But for the most part, man,
I mean, it's hard to believe. One of my favorite ones to listen to now is the Young Turks. I went from being a hardcore conservative. Now Chank's all right. He's okay on there every now and then. But
Anna Kasparian
she is black pilled. And
so black pilled.
if you want to listen to a good episode from the Young Turks, where is it at? 3 days ago. So probably when this airs, it'll be 4 days ago. February 3rd, 2026, the Young Turks Buyer's Remorse. Listen to that episode. It's good. At about the 50-minute mark, if you want to hear her talk about being black-pilled, it's very interesting.
There's a lot of people. That's generally the, who I've been really liking too, if you're looking for more stuff like on the left, obviously Glenn Greenwald, although he's more like libertarian. I love Glenn Greenwald, have for a long time. But then John Kiriakou has a bunch of he does about 4 different shows, and all of them are very good, mostly because he knows it's all insider baseball. You know, like he's the one that knows what the fuck is happening. Obviously, I listen to Dave Smith, Part of the Problem. That's a good libertarian one too. Keith Knightley. That's a good one. He's another libertarian podcast. Keith Knightley. Wait, you don't even know it. I got a video in there. I watched him change. I watched him sitting in a bathtub.
He's like,
I think we might have a clip from you.
I could though. It'll be funny. I'll put the cartoon one up.
Yeah, but that's what I figured. I don't know. Like, so what?
This is from Keith Knightley.
From Keith Knightley. Oh, even airplane. We don't want to see that shit. There you go. So that's Keith Knightley.
Man, let's roll that beautiful bean.
We got some merch coming. So we're gonna be working on merch. We got some cool fucking designs. We're down. Actually, you know what? Toss me that shirt. This is one shirt design that I was going to wear it. I might wear it for our interview tonight with Rich Ferber. So we got a shirt design here. Take a look at that. You see the Disenfranchised Podcast logo looks just like the one above. And on the back, boom. Look at that. Look at that motherfucker.
We also have one that Travis designed, the I Heart NY, the I Love New York. He wants to do an Heart DP.
Disenfranchised Podcast. What else does it mean? What else does it stand for? I don't get what you're saying.
I don't know. You came up with it.
Yeah, we got one. And then we got the No Man.
No Man. If you grew up when I grew up, every time I would get, we had the old TVs that you had to go up there and change the channel. And we were always watching. My dad always had on Married with Children. And I thought, man, wouldn't it be cool to have a Disenfranchised Podcast t-shirt, and then on the front, No Ma'am.
No Ma'am on the front, and then on the back. And as we haven't talked about this, on the back, when they have the fountain and have it say Disenfranchised underneath the fountain.
You probably do that.
Tie that in. Be cool. We got some cool shit coming, man. So, all right. Well, hey, we're at about an hour and 15. Thank you guys for hanging with us. As always, we appreciate it. I'm Travis Gearhart. We got
Keith Cunningham.
And we are
Disenfranchised.